Mode, the product manager over Domo's Cloud Connector library. In today's Domo Drop, I want to talk to you about a new, small, but very powerful feature that allows you to clone or duplicate an existing dataset. What do we mean by cloning a dataset, and why would you want to do this? Well, suppose you're a data admin in Domo. Your job is to set up connections to target systems and manage the data in Domo, so that apps, reports, dashboards, workflows, and all the other wonderful features in Domo have reliable data. What happens when one of your users says, I need data that is almost identical to the data being pulled in by an existing connection, except for one small change, and I don't want to update the existing connection? What do? You go through the process of powering up a new dataset using the connector in the existing connection. You painstakingly copy over all the common settings from the existing connection to the new one that you're creating, making the small update your user needs. You sometimes have to do the same thing when you're trying to troubleshoot an issue with a connection that's being used in production, or when you want to make a small change to a production dataset, but you want to test things out first. Now, if you're configuring a pretty simple connection, like the Google Sheets dataset that you're seeing here, manually powering up a new dataset might not take much time, and there might not be too much room for human error, but it's still manual labor that has to be done painstakingly. And then, what happens when you have something that's more complicated, like this JSON no-code dataset? What happens when you have to make more than one duplicate dataset? All of a sudden, a very small task becomes very time-consuming and can be fraught with human error. This is where cloning datasets comes in super handy. Using this small but mighty feature, dataset admins or dataset owners can quickly create a new connection that has the same configuration as an existing dataset. Or they can use an existing connection as a template to quickly create more connections in the future. Let's see it in action. So in my JSON no-code dataset here, you'll notice that I've configured the URL, I have configured the location to pull the dynamic parameters from, and I've also configured my parsing rules. In order to duplicate this dataset, all I need to do is come up to this menu, select Duplicate Dataset, and give it a name. I'll hit save, and voila, the dataset has been duplicated. One thing to note is that the duplicate dataset function will copy over the configuration from an existing connection, but will not actually copy over the data or run the dataset until you specify a new schedule or until you manually set it to run. So I'm just going to go to my duplicate dataset here. You can see in the data selection screen that I have the exact same options as the existing dataset, but when I actually go to look at data, there's nothing there yet because the dataset hasn't run. I can go back into settings and I can set a particular schedule. I can change any of the data selection options here or any of my parsing rules, hit save, and then run the dataset. And it will use the new configuration options to produce a duplicated dataset, or a dataset that has been changed slightly from the original one. Wasn't that quick and so much easier than opening up two windows, finding and powering up a connector, and then manually copying each configuration option over? I love this feature because it can really save data admins time when setting up new datasets or even when trying to troubleshoot existing datasets being used in production. Starting today, you can leverage the duplicate dataset or dataset clone feature in your instance. Thanks for watching. We're excited to see how the dataset clone feature makes connecting and managing your data easier. We'll see you at our next Domo Drop. Bye everyone.